Hi, everyone. How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. And this is our second episode. So, I'm really trying to get in the flow of things and get all my lighting and all of that kind of stuff together. So, I don't have anyone that's joined me yet. So, I'm just going to wait. Um, See if we're going to have some people to join me. So this one is new. Again, I'm Stacy Woods. Welcome to the live stream of my podcast, Reading to Feed the Mind. And basically what I'm doing is talking about different books. Hopefully you'll tune into my podcast when you're looking for new authors, new books to read, and things like that. So tonight's show these are called Did You Know? So again, I started last year in 2019, November 2019, and I started first on audio. So these podcasts you can find on audio. I'm on Google, I'm on Apple Podcast and Spotify. I am on those streams, on those podcast streams. And then later on in the later on, I started saying, well, you know what? Why don't I do some visual podcasts to accompany my the audio? Something different. Everybody's doing something a little different. So anyway, as I said, one of the series that I've done is entitled Did You Know? So for my first Did You Know, I talked about 50 Cent because we've known him as a rapper. Then he became an actor. Then he's a producer. He's been really successful in the things that he's done. But did we know that he was also an author or co-author? So check out my podcast. I talk about, I'll speak on one of the books that he wrote. And so anyway, tonight, our Did You Know is an actor. This is an actor that we've known. He's a well-known actor. He starred in several movies and just everything. So we've just seen, and since like 1988, we've been watching him on the screen. But did you know he was an actor? He was also an author. So the person that I'm speaking of is Eriq Lasalle. So we know Eriq Lasalle, first of all, in 1988 from Eddie Murphy's movie Coming to America. He was our Jerry Curl King. His family owned the Jerry Curl business. And so that was his first character. He played Daryl Jinx in that. And then the second thing, he was on about eight seasons of ER, and that was a really popular show. So from there, he has gone on to do cameo appearances in movies like Biker Boys, and he has been able to do, he played just several things. He's been in the Hallmark movies on the Hallmark Channel, the movie Relative Stranger. He has done his directorial debut was in 1996 on HBO. It was a made-for-TV movie, Rebound, The Legend of Earl the Goat Manigault. So that was one of the things. And that had Don Cheadle and James Earl Jones in it. And so he has done a lot of different things in television and movie novels, and then a short story like a novella, which served to introduce his novels. So the first one is Laws of Innocence. So they all follow the laws. So it's Laws of Innocence. And the second one is Laws of Wrath. And then the third one is Laws of Depravity. So again, the first one, Laws of Innocence, it's not even in book format. I got that one. I downloaded that one on Kindle, and it's a quick read, but it serves as an introduction into the storyline of two detectives, Fee Freeman and Quincy Kavanaugh, and then one FBI agent, Janet Macklin. So what we're doing is that we're following these people as they uncover murder mysteries. So What's the cool thing about this? The cool based on serial killers. So Laws of Innocence again sets us up for this the serial killer that we're going to see in Laws of Depravity, right? So Laws of Innocence, when you're reading that, you're starting to get the background on this really strange character, Degler, right? And so, you're going through, it's like, okay. So then we get into Laws of Depravity, and we're meeting Fee Freeman and Quincy Kavanaugh. They're partners, and they're pretty cool people. And everything is based in New York. It's based in Chinatown. Well, Laws of Wrath was based in Chinatown, New York, but it's New York based. So in Laws of Depravity, the serial killer is going around killing primarily priests. And the interesting things about his murders is that they are remnant of the sin that the people are living. And so when they're killed in this, in that same theme of the sin that they were living in. So it gets really deep, but it's really interesting. What I really enjoyed about Laws of Depravity, because it was kind of based on priest religion and things like that, is that I learned, because I never really grasped this in the Bible, that the the disciples, how the disciples were killed after Jesus. They don't talk about that a lot in in the Bible and in church. But and then some of these, and even some of the murders kind of patterned the ways some of those disciples were killed. So it punishment for the sin, the punishment for the crime, but then it is a crime because this is an average person doing these murders. So it really gets deep. You begin to learn more about Fee Freeman and Quincy Kavanaugh, their relationships, and it kind of opens a window into the backstory of their lives, which is pretty interesting. And then Janet Macklin is the FBI agent that comes in to help them solve the case. So we really don't hear a lot about Janet in the prequel Laws of Innocence. We basically get more into that character. You finding out the background of the murderer that you didn't see in Laws of Depravity. And so then we're introduced to Janet in Laws of Depravity. So we got these three characters. And then, so of course, you get to the end and the case is solved, and they get, I guess I'm kind of giving it away, but they're gonna get the person, but I'm not giving away who the person turns out to be. And so then he follows up in Laws of Wrath. So now, same characters, you got Fee Freeman, Quincy, and Janet. And so now we know the characters, we know who they are. And now this one, Laws of Wrath, is interesting because the serial killer in Laws of Wrath is targeting more of like the transvestite kind of community, that community. So all of them have, and then what's cool about the way he writes, so you're not just seeing the detectives and the FBI agent, you also get into kind of the criminal mindset. So you get to peek in their lives a little bit to maybe get an understanding, not, but an understanding of kind of maybe what is touches personally with Fee, because again, in Laws of Depravity, we start to learn a little bit about, the backstories of the detective lives and stuff. And you get a little hint that with Fee, there's some deeper stuff going on with like his brother and his father and everything. So we get to see a little bit more in Laws of Wrath what really is behind Fee and his lifestyle. Because in this one, it opens up because there's a butchered body of a transvestite, but it turns out that it's Fee's brother. And so in this one, you're hearing the backstory, because in Laws of Depravity, we kind of get a peek that it's a little discernment between into what all of that was really about in this one. So very intriguing. Hey, Jackie, thanks for joining. So it's really intriguing. It's very well written. I got a chance to meet him as I was learning more about him being an author. I really learned it from the book club Imani Literary Group. Um, and they invited him in. So I got a chance to sit down with him, not personally, but it was an intimate setting, and just really listen to him talk about what drove him to write. Now, it's been several years ago before I was podcasting and all of that, so I can't really quote a lot. But I do remember he was very intriguing. And he talked about, because somebody asked him about, how did he pull in what made him pull into the disciples and the murders of the disciples. And he just said he was just really intrigued when you find out that, that they were so tortured in their deaths and stuff. Again, something we don't learn in church. So I would really, really suggest that you pick up this book, especially if you're somebody that likes murder mysteries, because it is, again, it's really well written and he's painting that picture. I always say reading should really be, when you're reading a good book, it's like watching TV, but you're reading, because when we're reading, we're playing it, we see the characters, we see all of this develop. And he does a really good job of it. I guess that would come out, him being a director and everything. So, and it's fast paced. And you, like I say, it just really keeps you wanting to know what's going to happen. So if you're looking for a good read, I would strongly, strongly suggest that you start with Laws of Innocence. Now that one you will probably, and all of these are on Amazon, and and I will put a link in the description below to the books, but I would start with Laws of Innocence, because it's not that the actual stories relate, so you don't have to read it in order, but definitely before you read Laws of Depravity, get the little quick read of Laws of Innocence, because that gives you a more of a backdrop on Degler, the main, the murder, the main character in the book. And I think I promise you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. And then when you read it, give me some feedback. Come back and put some feedback. And so, as always, if you are not already following me, please click like and subscribe to the channel so you can see. And I am going to do a better job of trying to getting out a more advanced notice. But you can rely on every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. I'll be right here talking about a new book that I've read. So, come on in. Next week, we are going to talk about kids. And I was watching The View yesterday, and Lil Nas has a book out, a children's book out, and it's like with the alphabet. C is for country. That's the name of the book. So I'm going to be discussing children's books, the importance of us reading to our children. All of my friends, we're kind of in that grandparent, okay, I'll admit, grandparent age range. Some of us already have our have our grandchildren. Other of us are waiting. But anyway, I'm loving on other kids as I see them. So I think in our role as grandparents now, we're settled. We're not raising children. We just get the babies for a couple of hours and ship them back. But in those couple of hours as grandparents, we should really support our children in reading to our babies, to our grandbabies, and really emphasizing every Christmas, every birthday, one of the gifts that you should bless your grandchildren, nieces, nephews, neighbors, kids with is a book. And we're going to talk more about that. We're going to go into some statistics, those third grade statistics that if, most of our children, if they don't really have reading down by the third grade, it's been statistically proven that you can pretty much know that if your child is not reading on their level by the third grade, that pretty much they're not going to finish high school. They're not going to, of course, get a degree. They're more likely to be in jail. And it's amazing. But I promise you, and we'll have more information on this next week. So thanks for joining. Again, Eriq Lasalle, Laws of Innocence, Laws of Depravity, and Laws of Wrath. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So tell your friends, click like and subscribe, and join me next week when we talk about children's books and the importance of readings. Thanks for joining, and until next time, bye. Okay.